So for replay purposes, shout out to you watching to this chapter review, chapter 6 of the book, The Power of Now. We're going to go through it and let's see how we can grow from it, right? Every time that we learn something new and we apply it, it's a growth process, right? So chapter 6 talks about the inner body, right? And being is in your deepest self. Chapter 6 is talking about the inner body and how being is in your deepest self, right? So let's just read it. You spoke earlier about the importance of having deep roots within or inhabiting the body. Can you explain what you mean by that? The body can become a point of access into the realm of being. The body can become a realm of access, a point of access into the realm of being. Let's go into that more deeply. Okay, what does it mean that the body can become a point of access to the realm of being? Somebody says, well, I don't know what you mean by being. Water. What do you mean by that? This is what a fish would say if it had a human mind. So being is so important to your essence. It's like water is to fish. It's not a question you should even have to ask, right? I think that's what the author was saying. Once again, it's not just my opinion. Is what do you think the author is saying here based on this page here, right? Something we could look into. Anybody so far, any opinions on the first page? So when we go there, it says being is not something you can understand. Like if you ever really tried to understand your being, your spirit, the essence of you, right? It says, but the mind is trying to put it in a little box and label it, right? When you say, well, who am I? Right? We want to label that I as much as we possibly can, and that's an ego hole, right? A whole of the ego. So it says, being can be felt as the ever-present I am that is beyond name and form. To feel this, thus you are, and to abide in that deeply rooted state is an enlightenment. It is the truth that Jesus says will make you free. Now, being is that felt that ever-present I am. The ever-present I am is not just in your being as a human being, it's in every being, right? From the cat down this right there, the cat right here, right to the ants, to the trees. There's ever present I am within them, right? There's an intelligence to everything, and that essence and that being is when we realize how connected we all are, and this is why it leads to enlightenment. That's why us as a mind, we try to label it, right? We try to label it as much we can, and don't, there's no point in doing that. So, okay. So what can you be free from? Free from the illusion that you are nothing more than your physical body and your mind. The illusion. And by the way, before I go on, anybody has any take on any of this so far? So when you're free from the illusion that you're nothing more than your physical body and your mind. This is the illusion of the self, right? You're free from the fear from its countless disguises as an inevitable consequence of that illusion, right? The fear that is your constant tormentor as long as you derive your sense of self from this ephemeral and vulnerable form of free from sin, which is the suffering you unconsciously inflict on yourself. Okay, the illusion that you are nothing more than your physical body and your mind. How many times you looked at yourself and you thought you was not enough because of how you looked or how you were thinking, right? If you look at your mind as something that you have and your body as something that you're using right now, then you are free from the illusion that you're that body and that mind. That gets you tapped into your being, right? So the illusion of the self, right? The author says, the Buddha calls it a core error, right? Is when you identify too much with what you can see and not really your spirit, right? The fear that, right? So you want to be free from the fear and you don't want it to torment you because your carnal self is sinful. And when you identify it, it's like identifying with sin. So let's keep going. Now, the author then says, I don't like the word sin. It implies that I'm being judged or found guilty. Well, the way I look at the word sin is, you know, is what we do against our own selves that takes us out of equilibrium, right? These are the things that God tries to protect us from, right? The ramifications of our own actions. So sin for me is not a bad thing. Before it was like a real thing, but that's because I was listening to the systems. Now I see sin, the concept of sin is to free you from the havocs of, things like lying, stealing, killing, all these things that do, cheating, all these things bring a lot of other issues which you don't want to have to deal with, right?
I agree. Yes, turmoil
What's your
within
take on that?
yourself. Yes. I got that revelation this year, of the ramifications of sin and how Jesus stepped in to save, to truly save us, from what it does to us. You know what I'm saying? He was, when you indulge in sin, you will forever be different. You will never be the same. You know what I'm saying? Because how you think about things has now changed. How you see people has now changed. You know what I'm saying? So I love that explanation of what sin truly does to us. Not to cast us off as being bad, or because God is a forgiver, but it is what it does to us, and that's what He's trying to save us from.
I totally second that. I second that notion. It's something that we're trying to save us from ourselves, right? When you lie, it takes so much other lies to cover that lie that it takes so much out of you, right? Some people get killed for cheating because the ramifications of those actions. Some people, they, out of one burst of anger, they make a decision to kill somebody, and now they have to carry that burden forever, right? And it's tormenting, right? If we go back, what does this says? A torment, a constant tormentor. If you derive your sense of self from it, right? When there was a point in my life where I derived my sense of self so much from sinful actions that I thought that if I became more holy, I'd be missing out on life, right? This was legit my thought process, especially when you're a teenager, right? When you're a teenager or you're about to go into your prime years, which is like between the ages of 18 and 25, those years of exploration, of so-called freedom. And you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't want to lock myself down. I don't want to lock myself down with righteousness. Let me take some of that wickedness in my life, right? I was saying, man, I want to go out there and sin, right? Because that's our human mind. We associate that if we detach with this, man, we'll be losing. So we get binded by it, right? So that's pretty interesting. So sometimes we have to let go because it's not us. I thought I would lose myself. I would lose who I am because I stopped doing certain things. So that is very interesting. Um, let's keep going. Okay, so it's just talking about the word sin. I don't think it's important to really talk about why I use the word sin, so I will skip that part. Um, Let me see. So it says then the author goes to talk about guilt by association. Okay, you mean guilt by association? It is not a question of guilt, but as long as you are run by the egoic mind, you are part of the collective insanity. Perhaps you have looked deeply in the human condition is a state of dominance by the egoic mind. So let me stop this share right quick, right? So let me ask y'all a question. What is the egoic mind? We keep talking about the egoic mind. What is that? Like, what's that? And have you ever had an observation of that egoic mind? Anybody want to elaborate on that? Let's make this conversation a little bit. What does the egoic mind mean?
What you're supposed to live up to doing? I don't know.
Okay, that's a guess. You said what you're supposed to live up to do.
What your expectations are? What you're supposed to live up to doing?
Well, expectations is part of the egoic mind, right? Yes, that is part of it. That tells you, but that doesn't define it. But that is part of it. What else? What else you got? What else you got? Okay. So the egoic mind, the ego. Anybody know what does the ego stand for? Meaning who you've identified yourself to be in this realm. The things you're attached to that have became you. The ways of this world that you adopted. Um, and also to your desire to stay alive, to protect yourself in the world, to be right. All of these things is part of the egoic mind. Okay. Perhaps you haven't looked deeply into the human condition and the states of dominance by egoic mind. Open your eyes, see the fear, the despair, the greed, and the violence that are all pervasive. See the heinous cruelty of suffering on an unimaginable scale that humans have inflicted and continue to inflict on each other, as well as on other life forms on the planet. You don't you don't need to condemn, just observe. That is a sin. That is insanity. That is unconsciousness. Above all, don't forget to observe your own mind. Seek out the root of insanity there. You said identification with our physical form is part of the illusion. How can the body, the physical form, bring you to the realization of being? So now what is that question saying? When you identify with your body and you say, oh, I am my body and this is me, right? And who can say that, well, I'm not your, okay. Who can say that you're not your body and that's not you? Who can say that? In your mind, it doesn't make sense. That's the egoic mind saying, well, I am my body. I'm seeing me. This is what I carry around every day. And then the author said, well, don't identify with that. And you're like, what do you mean don't identify with my body? No, no, no. The author says identify with your being. So you're like, my being? What is that? It says, well, your being is not necessarily the past. It's not necessarily what you've attached yourself to. Your being is not necessarily your body or your booty. Your being is your spirit, what lies inside of you. It's the light within that's housed inside. So then you said, okay, all right, I'll learn to disidentify with the body so much. And then now you're telling me your body can bring my body now is where I can realize my being in. So you're saying, oh, so you mean to tell me my body is a temple then? So you mean in my body I can tap into the ever essence of God, right? When we mentioned before, remember I said they said the book says the being is that ever presence of the I am. So you mean to tell me in my temple I can experience the ever presence of the I am? Exactly. Now you disassociated your body. You've seen your body as a temple. Now you can experience the ever present I am. You see where that comes at? You see how that comes through? So then now the body is going, now the author is going to describe how. It says the body that you can see and touch cannot take you into the being, but that visible and tangible body is only an outer shell, rather a limited and distorted perception of a deeper reality. In your natural state of connectedness with being, this deeper reality can be felt every moment as the invisible inner body, the animating presence within you. So to inhabit the body, to feel the body from within, to feel life inside the body, and therefore come to know that you are beyond the outer form. That is the only beginning of an inward journey that will take you more deeply into the realm of great stillness and peace. At first, you may only get fleeting glimpses of it, but then you begin to realize that you are not just meaningless fragment in an alien universe. Has anyone ever experienced what the author just talked about just now?
I'm in the process of tapping in to that. So not just yet.
Okay, okay. So the more you keep cultivate, one of the best way to tap into that more and more, I tell you guys that all the time, is to do the qigong as your own private practice. It elevates your chi, and it actually allows you to experience this much faster than doing any other thing. From sitting down to breathing, from doing any other practice, qigong is one of the best ways to be able to tap into this. Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know that. I mean, ladies, I want you to let you ladies know that. So you're not a fragment of this alien universe, right? You're part of the I am. So let's think about compulsive thinking. Do you need to do it, right? Do you need to compulsively think all the time? Does it really serve you to think
No,
all the time?
no, it's not healthy.
No.
Not. It's not that healthy, right? Compulsive thinking, it runs your, it drains your battery, right?
Drain your energy for sure.
So your brain takes about 20% of your body's energy. And the thoughts, they're like electricity, right? When you, if you see thought patterns, brain waves going this in sequence, it looks like, literally, it look like lights. It look like light traveling on a highway. The more light is traveling on the highway, the more your brain is tapping into your energy, which is your chi, from your organs. It depletes the chi energy from all various organs around your body, and that brings down your energy level, and it also affects other areas of your life. So excessive thinking is actually very draining, because it's draining the energy out of your organs that you can be using to convert to creativity, to products, to creation in the world. So it doesn't even stress you to think compulsively. Even if you try to do stuff, thinking won't help you do it. Being and doing it helps you do it, right? So compulsive thinking never really works, right? And you have to keep thinking to, like, when you identify so much with your thoughts, you got to keep thinking the same way to convince yourself that this is you. Yesterday, I said something really powerful in the podcast. I was saying this. I said this. Listen, people will always ask you, what happened to you? You wasn't always like this. You changed, right? That's not the person I remember. The same way that people say that to you, yourself, your brain is going to keep saying that to yourself. So whenever you try to stop thinking or reduce the compulsive thinking patterns, your brain is going to say, what happened to you? Did you change? What happened? And what's going to happen is you're going to start, the brain says, oh, let me give them some thoughts so they could re-identify with me, with that brain state. So that's what people do. People say, oh, remember when? So your people would say, remember when we was in, and you would, what they'll do is, now that brings you thought patterns, compulsive thinking, which brings about the same person for a little bit. But if you did that, if you were the one saying, remember when, then guess what? You are re-bringing up, you are reminding yourself, making your mind the same again, so that way you can fit that old script. So the more you compulsively think, just like saying, remember when you used to, and then all of a sudden, you start getting used to that thought, and that thought starts to use you. And then all of a sudden, you're not remembering when, you're redoing it again. Instead of it being when, it's being now. So compulsive thinking perpetuates the past over and over, because it's going back to, it's going to the past and bringing it here. So it does not serve you to overthink. So now, to become conscious of being, you need to reclaim consciousness from the mind. This is one of the most essential tasks on your spiritual journey. It will free vast amounts of consciousness that previously had you trapped in useless and compulsive thinking. A very effective way in doing this is simply to take the focus of your attention away from thinking directly into the body, where being can be felt in the first instance as the invisible energy field that gives life to what you perceive as the physical body. What does that mean to you? What does this line mean to you just now? What does it mean when you shift from the mind to the body, right? When you shift from what you're thinking to the body.
Like when you do the exercises, you're letting your energy flow that way through chi instead of through your mind.
Exactly. Qigong. Qigong is what is this is you see what the author is talking about is what we've been doing every day. But that's why I've been saying, yeah, do it on your own so you can truly experience it. So you can truly feel the energy in your own body.
Like when we do that ball and I feel the static, I find that to be amazing.
So that's you getting in touch with the energy. So
I never did like there a couple of times that's happened to me. I have to be really in the moment. Sometimes I'm off. If I'm off, it's not going to happen. But if I'm in the moment, it really happens.
So, as the book suggests, let's try this now. As the book suggests, let's try this right now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take an intermission from just reading to doing a little bit of qigong. Okay? So try it now. So we're going to get into the body and see how if you can feel the essence of your being. Can you feel the subtle energy? You see what it says? Can you feel the subtle energy field that pervades the entire body and give vibrant life to every organ and every cell? Can you feel it simultaneously in all parts of your body as a single field of energy? Okay, so let's give it a go, right? Let's go ahead and do some qigong. All right, now now you see me. So now this is how easy it is to take some time, go outside and get yourself present again. When you tap into the subtleness of your being, what that does is allows you to walk in that subtleness even when you step out of your meditation. Okay? So even post the qigong, you should be able to do that.
It calms you inside. Like when I take breaks to do it, I go back to work. It calms me down.
Yes, it really does, and it really does work. So now let's do this together. You're gonna shift your weight towards your toes, breathing in, raising the arm forward. Shift your weight towards your heel, breathing out, lifting the arms down. Breathe in, shift your weight towards your toes. Let your wrist lead you. Breathe out, shift your weight towards your heel, let your elbow lead you. Breathe in, shift your weight towards your toes, elevate your wrists, arm forward, breathe in. Breathe out, descend. Shift your weight back towards your heel. Breathe in, elevate, breathe out, descend, shift. So you're breathing in, breathing out as your arm goes down. Breathe in, breathe out. Shift your weight towards your toes, breathe in. Shift your weight towards your heel. Breathe out. Try your best to focus on the movement, the subtle movement, the breath, that feel any tingling sensation in your fingers. And even if you're sitting down in your car, you can still do this motion. You can still raise your arm up. Even if, no matter where you're at, you can stop and do this. Breathe in, elevate, shift. Breathe out, descend, shift back. Raise your arm. Every day that you rise, you prime. Tap into the peace, listen to the sound of the birds, feel the shift of your weight. Enjoy the present moment. That's all. Now, bring all fingers together, one at the top, one at the bottom, as if you're pulling a string. And I want you to just pull the string. Just separating the string. It's like you're bringing it together and then separate. Here, tighten and exhale. Breathe in and tighten. Exhale. Inhale. Now separate it some more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So now, when you pull up and pull down, you're going to come off your toes. Turn up as if you're being pulled from the top and the bottom. And then bend the knees. Have your each fingers pass each other. So as you bend the knees, my hand from the top goes down, hand from the bottom goes up. They're passing each other. This causes me to come off the toes. Now, wave. So look. So when it was at the top, when it was at the bottom, my heel now is on the ground. I bring both of them to the sides, like that. Reel the elbow in. Elbow comes in, tuck in. Push the arm out as if you're pushing something to the side, as much as you can, flexing the wrist. You're gonna feel an abundance of chi flow to your palm. Now turn the palms over, facing the sky, and you're gonna do 4. You're gonna flick your wrist forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's as if you're trying to karate chop something in front of you. Then go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now bring it in front of you. Breathe in, turn it over. Go forward. Shift your weight towards your toes. Go to the side, reel it in, out back to the side, flexing as if you're pushing something. And then now you swing, one goes on top, one goes on the bottom. Then you do the same motion again, off the toes. And then now from here, turn. So follow along with me. It's a continuous motion. Side, palms forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward, turn, out, side, in, out, off the toes. Now breathe. Feel the subtleness of your breath inside of you. And as you do this, and if you were doing this, tap into your being. What are you feeling right now? What are you sensing in your body? Now bring your arms down and then just do bounce the chi. This one, I really want you to do it because it's going to allow you to really feel the chi in your palm. Bounce. This is a balancer. How you balance the chi. Balance your life force energy. Feel the subtle energy. That's because you are now tapping to the power of now. To balance the chi. So, did you experience the power? Comment now if you experience the power of now. Comment now if you experience the power of now. Just now. Right? So we just did the chapter, right? Normally we talk about the chapter, but right now we just did the chapter. We did the whole chapter just now. All right, this is what the chapter talks about. And we didn't read it. We did it, right? And we do it all the time. So now you're going to get a better sense of what this is talking about. Look, can you feel it? Can you feel the life force energy simultaneously in all parts of the body as a single field of energy? Keep focusing on the feeling of your inner body for a few moments. Do not start to think about it. Feel it. The more attention you give to it, the clearer and stronger this feeling will become. It will feel as if every cell in your body is becoming more alive, as if you have a strong visual sense. You will get an image of your body become luminous. Although such an image can help you temporarily, pay more attention to the feeling than to any image that may arise. An image, no matter how beautiful or powerful, is already defined in form, so there is less scope of penetrating more deeply. So the author is talking about the difference between feeling and imaging. And it's saying when you image in, you create a construct based on your egoic mind of what you've seen already. But when you feel, you're not creating a construct of what you see already. You're doing your best just to sense what you're currently experiencing. So I think that's the difference he's trying to make in this paragraph. The feeling of your inner body is formless, limitless, and unfathomable. You can always go into it more deeply. So, how many of you in the last 3 to 6 months have gotten more in touch with your body and the energies within it? And what is the difference between then and now as it relates to how much you notice? Like, share an experience of how you notice certain stuff in your body that you normally didn't notice before.
Well, I just learned that feeling. I never felt that, like the chi, like that power, the magnet, and the calmness of being present.
The calmness of being present.
Yes, it makes you so calm that you could think and focus on everything. Like, you could focus on now easier.
I totally agree. Do you experience anxiety differently now? Do you experience fear differently?
Yes.
How so?
It's
Yes.
not as much.
How so, y'all? How do you experience them? How do you experience fear, anxiety? How do you experience them now? Talk to me.
At this point of like transforming my mind and the way I think and I approach things, like when it comes, I'm able to observe the feeling and like analyze or understand the root of the matter, where it's coming from, and I can like address and breathe from that point. So now it's just like I feel like I'm in the driver's seat. I'm not allowing these things to just take over me and have its way. It's like when it comes and if it comes, I know how to deal with it better, to where it doesn't like just take complete control of me. Observe, allow it to happen, and releasing these emotions.
To think and respond better, because you're not just reacting.
Right, Liz. That's where I am with it, and it's just like I noticed the difference, and it's just like it's better that way. You know what I'm saying? You're not such in like in a like you're about to just crack, and break.
Like I'm
Why?
not doing it 100%, but I'm trying not to let people take my energy. Sometimes I'm good with it. Sometimes I have to practice it more.
That's right. It's definitely in the practice. And it's like now that I know, it's like someone has showed me a skill, and I'm like, oh, this is how you do it. And I'm going to keep doing it and keep doing it.
Y'all give me a second, okay? I'm gonna go check. I think one of the chickens died. Let me check something real quick. Damn.
Okay. I mean, isn't it amazing how you think now? You really think things through. You watch people's reactions and then you try not to add to it.
Yeah.
Like you could almost read their state of mind. So you're like, I'm not going to feed into this. I'm going to step back and handle it a different way.
Wow.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I think a raccoon ate one of the chickens.
Oh no.
Yeah, but let's keep going with this. That's my personal information. I'm gonna put that on y'all today. Um, damn. Why have so few seekers become finders? On the level of the body, humans are very close to animals. Look at that. All the basic bodily functions, pleasure, pain, breathing, eating, drinking, all of these things we share with animals. So we have an animal nature, right? But look, this was the author used a lot of Bible references. You know, doesn't give credit to
That
Jesus. Uses the references. Okay, that's funny.
that word is real.
Yeah, everybody's doing that. Eastern, they're all taking the word and putting it in there. Everybody. Okay, but that just tells you, right, Queen? So think about when Adam and Eve saw that they were naked, and they became afraid. They were they denied their animal nature. Their unconscious denial of their animal nature set in quickly. The threat that they might be taken over by their powerful instinctual drives and revert back to complete unconsciousness was indeed a very real one. Right? So when let's keep going. The light of their consciousness was not yet strong enough to make friends with their animal nature, to allow it to be, and even enjoy the aspect of themselves, let alone go deeply into it to find the divine hidden in it, the reality within the situation. So they did what they had to do. They had to disassociate from their body. They now saw themselves as having a body rather than just being it. Right? What does this mean? Anybody? What does this mean? What's your take on this? Right? Think about it. So imagine you were a high spiritual being and you discovered that, yo, I have to like get in touch with, I'm naked, like I have a body. So they have to disassociate it with it and understand that they're more than their body. I think we've gotten a good gist of the chapter so far. Right? We've gotten a good gist of the chapter so far. I think if you finish reading the rest of it, you'll finish getting the gist of it. After we've kind of said we did the qigong, you were able to see how you can tap into your body and get into the essence. You've really noticed what the inner body is all about. You notice about the qi. You notice about being able to notice that you're the one, you're the master. Okay? So the truth is hidden in your body. Listen to it. Right? So listen to your inner body and it'll tell you all that you need to know about your life. Okay, so sermon of the body. Have you what you perceive as dense physical structure? Boom, boom, boom.
That's why a phone call is better than a text, because you can read somebody's mood in a phone call. Or when you see them, you could get their body language, read their body.
Yep, the body Yep, the body has its own language. That's so true.
Like I could tell by just seeing someone if I want to ask them a question or not, because I could tell the mood. And you might want to be like, oh, let me give that a few minutes, or let me do that later.
That is true. So, have a deep connection with your body. Feel it at all times. Stay at a high energy level so lower energies can't affect you. Keep your intention to the body. Right? So sometimes when you're sitting down, by getting yourself back in your body with a breath, can take you out of your mind. Sensory awareness of what's happening around you and your toes, and these things can keep you anchored in the now. Doing stuff like this, moving the wrist slowly, keep you in the now. So please examine where your intention is at this moment. Where is your intention? Where is your attention? You're listening to me. You're reading the words in the book. That is the focus of your intention. Are you aware of your surroundings? See if you can touch your inner body. So close your eyes. Imagine where your attention is at the present moment. You're listening to me. You're listening to the words of this book. Now you're aware of your surroundings, other people, and so on. So you're listening to me, you're listening to the words of the people, you're aware of your surroundings, other people. And you might have some mind activity coming up. Do you feel any mind activity, any thoughts? You don't need to let it absorb your attention. Be in touch with your inner body. Keep some of your intention within. Don't let it flow out. Feel your body from within as a single field of energy. It is almost as if you were listening and reading with your whole body. Listen and read with your whole body. Do not give your attention away to the mind and the external world. By all means, focus on what you are doing, but feel the inner body at the same time whenever possible. Stay rooted within. Then observe how this changes your state of consciousness and the quality of what you're doing. Whenever you are waiting, wherever it may be, use that time to feel the inner body. in this way. Traffic jams and lines become very enjoyable. So you can do this while driving. Instead of mentally projecting yourself away from the now, stay in the present. Go more deeply into the now. The art of the inner body awareness will develop into a completely new way of living. A state of permanent connectedness with being, and will add depth to your life that you never known before. It is easy to stay present as the observer of your mind when you are deeply rooted in your body. No matter what happens on the outside, nothing can shake you anymore. Unless you stay present, and inhabiting your body is always an essential aspect of it. You will continue to be run by your mind. So keep inhabiting your body. The script in your head that you learned a long time ago, the conditions of your mind, will dictate your thinking and your behavior. You may be free of it for brief intervals, but rarely for long. So, be present enough to dismantle those scripts. All right, so let's close it out. You're gonna breathe in. We're gonna do the microcosmic orbit. So just think about you embodying this feeling all day, every day. It's not just for the rising prime, but for the day. So breathe in. This is called the microcosmic orbit. This is how you circulate the chi throughout your entire body. Bring it of the face to the sky. Exhale down. Breathe in, gather. Breathe out, extend. Breathe in over the face. Breathe out towards the sky and then back down. Exhale. So when you get challenges, external challenges, let it spark an internal action. Turn your external challenge into an internal action, a breath, back to sensory awareness, and that will change your subconscious scripts. Breathe in, gather, tighten. So there is a higher part of you that is your being, and this is the part of you that can overcome the mind. But to get in touch with the being, to overcome the mind, you got to get in touch with your body. So that's why we breathe, move, do qigong. Breathe, gather, extend your arm, then above the face, towards the sky, then back down. So now, bring your arms above the face, off your toes. This is the standing meditation. Your tongue at the root of the two front teeth. Just hold it there. Just ground yourself in the present moment. Breathe in, breathe out. If you find yourself getting in your mind, get back to the present. I just got in my head just now. Breathe in, focus on the breath, hear the birds, get yourself back. Exhale, bring your arms down. So that was the standing meditation. It's really good for grounding. Really good for the root chakra, right? So it's a really good meditation to do, and it anchors you back in the present. So with that being said, this concludes the review of chapter 6 of The Power of Now, and finalizes Rise and Prime. Just comment your affirmation in the chat as it refers to either your script affirmation that we made. And by the way, definitely go back and look at the script affirmation that we made, that you made, and keep recording that, right? Omi recorded it. He shared it yesterday. Go back and watch that video. It's on the app. It talks about the script affirmations. Make your lists. That way you can listen to it every rising, because if you do that, you're going to be unwiring your brain at a subconscious level. Okay? So that was very important for that week. It was a major exercise that we did that can really transform your life. There's just simple things that really do. So comment the affirmation. I am deeply rooted in the presence of my being, in the presence of the I am, and I will not waver. By letting compulsive thoughts come in. I observe my thoughts, and I am not consumed by them. I step in my body with consciousness and don't stay stuck in my mind. Okay, so let's get it. Let's get these affirmations. We always repeat our own, and everybody repeats after the person who initially wrote the affirmation, right? Okay, so let's give it a go. Once again, if you're just watching this, maybe first time ever, you go down, you come up, you exhale, you open your arm, and you say the affirmation. Okay? So let's get it. Ready? So make sure you say with a little bit more emotion, with some presence, with some mindful. I'm in present right now. And as you do it, feel it, embody it. Let every cell in your body really feel the affirmation. Starting with the first one. Ben, I am deeply rooted in the presence of the I am and will not waver by letting compulsive thoughts come in. I am deeply rooted in the presence of the I am and will not waver by letting compulsive thoughts come in.
I am deeply rooted in the presence
Presence
of
of the
I
I.
am.
Keep going, Queen Key. I was just going with you.
Oh,
So you just stop. Let's do it again. Let's do it together. I am deeply rooted in the presence of the I am and will not waver by
by
letting
letting
compulsive
compulsive
thoughts
thoughts
come in.
come in.
I observe my thoughts and I'm not consumed by them.
I observe
I
my
observe
thoughts
my
and I'm
thoughts
not
and I'm not
consumed by them.
consumed by them.
I observe my thoughts and I am not consumed by them.
I observe
I
my thoughts
observe
and
my
I'm not
thoughts and I'm not
consumed by them.
consumed by them.
It's on you,
I
Queen.
I am an observer of my emotions and they will not control me.
I
am an observer of my emotions and they will not control me.
I'll say that one more time. I am an observer of my emotions and they will not control me.
I am an observer of my emotions and they will not control me. I step in my body with consciousness and I don't stay stuck in my head. I step in my body with consciousness and I don't stay stuck in my head. I step in my body with consciousness and I don't get stuck in
Don't
my
get
head.
stuck in my head.
I dictate what emotions stay on the bus.
I dictate what emotions stay on the bus.
Stay on the bus. I like that.
Yeah,
I dictate what emotions stay on my bus.
I dictate what emotions stay on my bus.
Yeah.
I am taking time to heal and be present and not run away in order to give myself a better peace of mind.
I am taking time to heal and be present, not run away in order to give myself a better peace of mind.
A peace of mind, yes.
I am taking time to heal and be present, not run away in order to give myself a better peace of mind.
Liz, more power. Come on. Come on. This is affirmations. You gotta say that stronger than that. Let's go. Come on. One more time.
I am taking time to heal and be present, not run away in order to give myself a better peace of mind.
I am taking time to
heal
and be present and not run away in order to give myself a better peace of mind. I am a piece of the I am, therefore peace lies within me. I am a piece of the I am, therefore peace lies within me. I am a piece of the I am, therefore peace lies within me. I am connected and protected to and the universe.
I am connected and
protected to and the universe.
Is that how you want to say?
And by the universe.
I am connected and protected to and by the universe.
Yes.
All right. So y'all have a great day today. Stay in your power. Stay blessed. Keep growing. Every day is a step, right?
Yes.
Every day is a step. You too, Liz. And it's a daily walk to heal. All you got to do is keep walking. Don't stop. Right? Every day you add a little bit to your mental, to your bucket. And you get rid of the things that don't serve you.
Let go, let God.
Let go and let God. That's right.
Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah.